All right. Gyokeres won by Sporting Lisbon president Varandas. Now, in the morning, I told you when I was really recording the second video of the day that Victor Gyokeres never confirmed that he's not going to return to Sporting Lisbon training. Not today, not tomorrow, until the summer transfer window comes to an end. And it happened to be so, and the president has come out and issued a warning to the number 9 of Sporting Lisbon. Welcome to this channel. Smash like button, comment and share. If you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not miss out on the stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David is my name, and hope you guys are really having fun. We are also going to be talking about big stories for Bissouma, another player that might be leaving the Premier League, and Enzo Maresca addressing what is in his dressing room ahead of the big final that's going to be played on Sunday in USA FIFA Club World Cup. So guys, hope you're really having fun, and I really present you the third video of the day. Now, the president of Sporting Lisbon has come out and said the following, that if the geniuses who are drawing up this strategy think that this is putting pressure on me to make it easier for him to leave, not only are they completely wrong, but they are also making it more complicated for the player to leave. That's what the president is saying. He said also, nobody is above the interests of the club, whoever they are. If they don't want to pay his fair market value, we are very comfortable with that for the next 3 years. We are calm. Everything will be resolved with the market closing, a hefty fine, and an apology to the group of players of Sporting Lisbon, the employees, and everyone there. So, the president is not moved. The president of Sporting Lisbon is not moved by any move that is being made by a guy known as Gyokeres, not turning up for training. The president is like, we are calm. The good thing is that we are having a 3-year contract with Victor Gyokeres, and Gyokeres, if Arsenal doesn't pay the 80 million euro price tag that we've gone ahead to put on him, the player will return, and after returning, after the summer, the player will find himself in a position of apologizing to the club, and he will be fined. That's what the president is really saying. So that shows you that it has gone from bad to worse. And the president will always come out and speak to really tell Sitting Kaya that please and please and please and please and please, what you're doing is wrong. If it's a Cold War, I can join it, and we will wait and see how things will happen. But I take you back to the day the agent said that he has a gentleman's agreement that is written down that Victor Gyokeres can leave for 60 million euros guaranteed and 10 million euros of add-ons. The president came out and really diluted all what the agent said. He said they had a talk, and they went ahead to scrap off the release clause of 100 million euros that a player in Portugal can obviously be sold for 100 million euros at 27 years of age. So what they agreed on was to really sell him for 80 million euros. You get? And the president said he cannot leave for 60 plus 10. That is 70 million euros. That's what the president really went ahead to say. And as it stands, I tell you, the sporting president is keeping his word. The agent is telling Gyokeres, please don't return to the training ground. Don't at any one time show them that you're really nearing a return. And the president is like, even if he doesn't return in the summer, when the summer comes to an end and no club is going to obviously pay what we believe is the realistic amount of money supposed to be he's supposed to be leaving for, he'll return, apologize, and then go ahead to play for this club again. So for Arsenal, I think Henry Bath and Arteta the other guy known as the owner of Arsenal, Kroenkes, they should top up that 4.5 million pounds difference to obviously make it is it 6.9? You know, that is it. I think that's what they're supposed to do, because the president of Sporting is not willing to bow down to any pressure. That is it. And he's like, you guys are jokers. We are not obviously gonna be bowing down for you guys. All you want is the 69.13 million pounds or 80 million euros with 70 million euros of add-ons. That is 60.49, meaning that 70 million euros, that is 60 million euros, sorry, 60 million pounds of guaranteed fees and 8.6 million pounds of add-ons. So that's where we are right now about the deal of Gyokeres. Gyokeres has been issued a warning by the Sporting Lisbon president. The player is 100% ready for the move, and he's ready to obviously not really return to training. And I think a message has been sent to Arsenal. Now it's up to Arsenal. Arsenal has to come up and obviously make a decision. And one thing I'm really warning Arsenal is, if another team comes in and tells Gyokeres, because the longer they get, the more frustration obviously come on the player's side, because it'll be like, I don't want to return to this club anymore. I don't want to be fined, and all I want is simple. I want to leave the club of Sporting Lisbon. If another club comes in through and tells the player, we're obviously willing to meet the 80 million euro request from Sporting Lisbon, I think that's when Arsenal will figure out, and will really fidget. Because on other players like Zubimendi, because they knew there was competition, they signed him. Kepa Arrizabalaga, you know the reason that Bournemouth were willing to trigger that clause, and Arsenal really went ahead to come in fast and sign the player. Then the other player that really put up competition for them was Norgard, because even Spurs wanted him, and even I think Man United, and even Madueke. Other clubs wanted him, and they're willing to obviously cough that amount of money, and they've gone ahead to run for him. And now they're really running after Ebelechi Eze, because teams are really looking at him: Man United, Chelsea, and others. So, as it stands, we'll be informing you what is going to be happening. But that's what the president of Gyokeres has. The president of Sporting Lisbon has gone ahead to throw at Gyokeres, and is telling him, please, you will obviously have to cough this, and you'll get fined by the club. That is it. Now, let's go to Turkey a little bit and see what Bissouma and Fenerbahçe are really up to. Tier 1 journalist from Turkey, he goes by names of Sabakunglu. He says, a representative authorized by Fenerbahçe flew to London to meet with Bissouma and Tottenham Hotspur. Now, Fenerbahçe are really trying to build a very strong team this time round. You understand? They don't want any messes around. All they want is to keep up with the competition in this coming season. So, they are trying to reinforce their squad, and they're looking out for Bissouma. Now, a representative of Fenerbahçe was sent to London to talk to Bissouma and Tottenham Hotspur. So, Spurs have gone ahead to bring in Mohamed Kudus, right? They've gone ahead to bring in another player called Morgan Gibbs-White. And none of those is a player who plays in a number 8 or a CDM. I know Mohamed Kudus can try, but if you look at Bissouma and what he offers, if Spurs sell him, that means they're having another player they're really looking at. You understand? They're really having another player they're really looking at, because as it stands, the club of Tottenham Hotspur has Yefis Bissouma and Pamet Assar as the only CDMs that can obviously come and partner up in that midfield. So, if one of those is leaving, then they must really get in one. And no doubt that they're obviously wanting a player known as Nogard, who really went ahead to play and really agreed to play for the club of Arsenal. So, that means Thomas Frank, the new manager who replaced Ange Postecoglou, is really there to see to it that all goes on well, as they want things to obviously pan out. So, Yefis Bissouma is considered one of those that the side of Fenerbahce can obviously go in for and really buy. So that is it for Yefis Bissouma. But I believe if they've gone ahead to put him on the market, this team will obviously have to get a replacement. But taking them to the Champions League, if Yefis Bissouma leaves Spurs, I'll be very, very surprised, because I know he's a player that gives you all what you want. You know, he gives you the skill, he gives you the press resistance, he has all the ingredients of a midfielder who is really modern. He can shield the back four, and having two players who can play as 8s and 6s in a team is really the modern way to go. You know, look at Arsenal. Declan Rice and Zubimendi, they can play as 6s and 8s. City, Rodri, Ika Gundogan, maybe Reinders, Kovacic, whoever they put there, can play as a 6 or an 8. Chelsea, Romeo Lavia, Moise Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, they can all play as 6s and 8s. Even Andre Santos. So, I want to pass this message to Spurs that unless otherwise they are really looking into bringing another player and who is Premier League proven, Thomas Frank might be doing something that is not really okay. You understand? So that is exactly what you're really having in here about Yefis Bissouma, a player that was once wanted by Man United, Arsenal, and so on and so forth. But he never really went there. He ended up at Spurs. And by the Spurs got him in a cheap £25 million, because I think he was left with just 1 year on his contract and was not willing to stay at Brighton any further. That is Yefis Bissouma for you. Now, big game anticipated tomorrow as Chelsea plays against PSG in the FIFA Club World Cup. And guess what? Enzo Maresca has gone ahead to address what is happening in his dressing room. He said, at the moment, the most important thing is that the changing room is fantastic and it's tough with top characters. The reason why is because they value what they have done during this competition, during the season, but especially now that we are here in the final. They feel proud, they are happy, and I have the feeling we are also ready. So, Chelsea's like, we are ready for the occasion. You understand? They say they are 100% ready for the occasion. Now, the guy behind all this, Enzo Maresca, the orchestrator of the blueprint that Chelsea is showcasing right now, is speaking. And when he speaks, you have to obviously pay a very attentive ear and really listen to what is being said. You understand? And as everything is really panning out, the players are really ready for the final and they feel proud. So, Enzo Maresca and his squad are like, PSG, come on. And when you look at we look at Chelsea, they don't have very many injuries. And I'm really going to be discussing that in the next episode of the video. I'm obviously going to be bringing you the match preview of Chelsea versus PSG in the coming hours. You understand? We've mastered the art of going live late, and we're obviously gonna be doing one video in the night. In the next, I think, 2 hours from now, we'll be live streaming and having a lot to say with you, my people, onto this channel. So I call upon for your reactions into the comment section below about Gyokeres warned by Sporting Lisbon president as he pushes move to join Arsenal. you know. What do you think should be done? Are Arsenal the root cause of all this for really dilly-dallying around and not letting this deal happen? You know, the president is really one of those that has obviously gone ahead to walk away from the agreement they had last summer that the player could leave for 60 guaranteed million euros and 10 million euros of add-ons. Chelsea versus PSG. Do you think Chelsea is ready to obviously shock the side known as PSG? And lastly, what are your thoughts about Bissouma to Fenerbahce? Fenerbahce have gone ahead to make an approach. Do you think Bissouma is the right guy to really turn the Jose Mourinho side into what is supposed to be? Or Spurs shouldn't let this guy go because he's really one of the glue of the team, especially in that double pivot. Thank you very much, and continue to subscribe because we want to hit how many subscribers? You know the magic. 27,000 subscribers. Way out. Bye-bye.